Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. BitBoy insists ISO20022 was designed for XRP. Okay guys, let's get into it. Okay, so ISO222. There's a big thing about this where they call some cryptocurrencies ISO coins, right? So you've got like XRP, XLM, HBAR, XDC. I think there's a few others as well, but they're basically saying that these are ISO coins and these are the coins to get into. And look, while I will say that there is an advantage to, these coins being ISO compliant, it is a very big misunderstanding as to what people really think this is about. So let's really get into this. ISO222, was it designed for XRP? No, it wasn't. Not at all. ISO's actually been around for a very, very long time. Way before XRP was even a thought. So, to think that this was all designed for XRP is just, it is completely out of this world in terms of, thinking that that's what this was designed for in totality. It's basically a messaging standard. It's actually really got nothing to do with XRP. And this is the thing, like, even in terms of me saying that there's a benefit to it, please understand that, like, the thing that people think about this is completely wrong. And I'm going to completely explain this now so, you guys get the full gist of what's going on here. So, okay, let's get into this then. So, look, before I even start, right, just because I know there's some people who are probably going to see this and they're going to be like, oh, this guy's an idiot, whatever. Let me just show you something just before I even go any further, and then I'll break down this a little bit more. But let me just show you something from the get-go. And bear in mind, I'm an XRP holder, right? But let me just show you something. Ripple CTO confirms XRP has no relationship with ISO222. So this has come from David Schwartz himself. He's also confirmed this, and he's absolutely right. So before you want to kind of come at me and say I'm wrong or whatever, you've got David Schwartz saying this as well. So if you want to go against David Schwartz too, then, be my guest. But he's completely right, and I'll explain why. So let's get into this really about what ISO222 is. So I'm going to go over here and I want to show you this, right? What are ISO messages? ISO 222 messages are vital to instant payments and play an important role in the overall modernization of payment processes. Specifically, they provide a structured and data-rich common language, highlight common language, that is readily exchanged among corporates and banking systems. So, okay, so what exactly do they mean by that, like a common language? It's a messaging standard, okay? It's a messaging standard. It's actually got nothing to do in terms of, doing cross-border payments specifically. No, it's a messaging standard. So when you think about this, what are we talking about here then? So it's not that XRP is an ISO coin, okay? It's that RippleNet, the software that Ripple provide, is ISO compliant, right? So RippleNet, that's the software that people can use, right? That is what is ISO compliant. So, for example, if banks wanted to decide to use the RippleNet service to move currencies or whatever, then they can use this and they know that it's going to be using the most up-to-date messaging standard. But we all know that RippleNet doesn't necessarily have to use XRP, right? So, like, we know that with RippleNet, you don't have to use XRP to do a transfer. You can move fiat currency on RippleNet, or you could use a different cryptocurrency if you want to via RippleNet. It doesn't necessarily have to use XRP. So it's got nothing to do with XRP itself. People are just connecting Ripple to XRP and misunderstanding that when they say XRP is ISO compliant, basically it's that RippleNet is ISO compliant, and so they attach XRP to RippleNet because they think RippleNet automatically by default will just use XRP, which is not necessarily the case, right? So I'm going to go a bit further just to explain this in a bit more detail as well. So BitBoy saying that this was designed with, XRP in mind. Okay, so look, I've got this here from the ISO standards actual website. I'm just going to read this to you guys. ISO, the International Organization for Standardization, brings global experts together to agree on the best way of doing things, from anything from making a product to managing a process. As one of the oldest non-governmental international organizations, ISO has enabled trade and cooperation between people and companies the world over since 1946. The international standards published by ISO serve to make lives easier, safer, and better. So as you can see, guys, they've been around for a very long time. So in terms of ISO 222 specifically, what is this? It's basically just an upgrade of the messaging standard. That's it. And yes, it does mean that now there are certain cryptocurrencies that are compliant that can be added with, for example, like a ticker. So, for example, payments like XRP, Cardano, which is ADA, you can input their tickers into payments and things like that. It will be fine within the messaging standard. So there are cryptos that are compliant that can be put into these messages because they comply with the messaging standard. So that's all this is. Now, yes, is it a benefit? Well, yeah, because the other cryptos that are not ISO compliant, well, they will need to get into compliance to be, to be able to get the utilization, right, to get the ticker added and stuff like that. So there is a benefit, but it's not the benefit where people think, oh, these are the ISO coins, so this is what's going to take off, or these are what the banks are all using. No. This just means that these cryptocurrencies can be acknowledged within the messaging standards. That's basically all it is. And so, when people are saying that it was made with XRP in mind, no, this is just a common upgrade that they do over time. Like, this isn't the first upgrade that ISO have released. As they say, they've been around since 1946. So, of course, over time, they just keep upgrading, and adding things to it. So it's not like they upgraded to ISO20022 just for crypto. There's many other things that they've updated, right? There's many new things that they've put within an update. So it's just like, for example, if you was updating your laptop, right? There's going to be like a whole load of new features each time that they'll bring in. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be just one new feature. There could be like 3 or 4 different features, right, with this new update. And that's what it is with the ISO messaging. It's like we've got a whole load of new things that we need to update, the crypto thing being one of them, but it wasn't made specifically for just, XRP, for example, because like, as we know, there's other cryptos that are ISO compliant as well. So there's XTC, there's HBAR, XLM, XRP, obviously. So again, it wasn't made specifically for XRP, and it wasn't made specifically for any one crypto. It was made for crypto in general, but that's just one side effect of the update, right? Like, it's just one of the features that they've added in. So it's got nothing to do specifically with XRP at all. Now, one last thing that I just want to give you guys about this, because I had to address this before, right? And I've done this on my channel, and I can't remember the name of the video, but it's going to be ISO related, so you can have a look if you want. But there was a point where people thought that when this ISO date was rolled out, XRP was going to take off, because they believed that that was the flip the switch date, right? Because this new messaging standard comes in, and this is when all the banks are using XRP. Okay, so there's a date in 2025. I want to say it's March, but I could be wrong. And people believe that this is going to be the next flip the switch date for XRP to take off. Guys, I'm going to tell you from right now, it's not going to be. I did this before, covered it last time. I think it was like November at some point, but I can't remember which year it was. And I told you guys, it's not going to happen, and it didn't. And I'm going to tell you again, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be the flip the switch date. And you can quote me on this. Feel free to come back to me. If I'm wrong, come and tell me I'm wrong. But I assure you that it's not going to change anything whatsoever. But we've got here, are banks using ISO 222? Financial services organizations in more than 70 countries currently use the ISO 222 standard, including the Clearinghouse RTP network, which has used the standard since the payment platform launched in 2017. So there's actually already banks and companies using ISO 222. I know this for a fact because I know a company who's actually using it for 100%. So I already know this. So what do you guys think is going to happen exactly? Like, you think that, there's just because like this is the end date when they've got all the companies over, well, there's companies already using ISO. So wouldn't XRP have already rose dramatically in value if that was the case? Because banks and companies are already using it. So, what is it about like this end date where, okay, this is where all the companies should be using it? Means, okay, that's it now. That's the flip the switch date when there's banks currently using it as we speak. Do you see what I'm saying, guys? So I'm just letting you know, like, this isn't got nothing to do with, XRP being utilized for instant payments. It's got nothing to do with that. It really is just a messaging standard. It's actually more to Ripple than it is XRP. Again, I hate to crush dreams, but I'm just trying to be real with you guys. I'm just trying to give you guys the truth. That's all. Like, this ISO stuff, it's not relevant. If you're thinking about this in terms of like XRP to be dramatically rising in value, I'm sorry to tell you, but that's not what it's going to be. This is not going to be it. So Yeah, I hate to say it, but BitBoy is completely wrong here. ISO wasn't created for XRP. It wasn't created, with XRP in mind. It was just cryptos here. This is one of the things that we need to update along with other things. So here's a new messaging standard update, and this will include cryptocurrencies within it. XRP happens to be one of them because RippleNet complies with the messaging standard. And that's all it is. It's a messaging standard. It's got nothing to do with payments in that regard, in terms of like XRP being utilized or anything like that. So I'll leave it there. But again, I'm just trying to give you the truth. That's all I'm trying to give you. And here's all the evidence laid out. So, make of it what you will. But all I'm trying to do is give you the facts. That's all. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell. Take care.